It Happened on the Job, the podcast for relatable conversations with contractors. Sponsored by Goodman Insurance.
Welcome to It Happened on the Job, episode 102 today. My name is Mike. That's Brian.
Yo.
Our guest this afternoon is Mike Fiorenza, COO of Bundren Painting out of Houston. How you doing, Mike?
What's up, Mike?
Thank you.
Thanks for taking the time to join us. We appreciate you having the good equipment. It sounds like you are in your own little recording studio there. It sounds beautiful. We love it. Before we get started, or as we get started here, give us a little of your history, a little background on you, how you got started in this industry and the road to where you are now. I can't imagine it's probably like most contractors being the COO over there, but let's hear it, man.
I've come from New Jersey. Most of my career was on the Hudson River, New York or New Jersey. My grandfather actually owned a residential framing company.
Wow.
So, as a little kid, I was always on construction sites in the pickup trucks and straightening nails and, always around construction.
Straightening nails, is that a thing? Is that like counting paper clips when you bring a guy back or no?
Way back when, it was something to keep me busy and they would reuse what they could.
Right.
Probably didn't straighten many that they could reuse. But it was always, I worked my way through construction. I was a carpenter by trade and was residential and then went into commercial and then worked my way up through into management, project management and estimating, and came down to Texas in 2009 to take over a failed project down here. And I have been here ever since.
Who were you with when you came out to Texas?
I was self-employed.
Oh, okay.
Associated with a couple GCs working out of New Jersey.
Doing carpentry stuff?
Project management.
Okay. So how did you get into, what got you into the painting world?
Believe it or not, roofing.
Okay.
I had been working on a hotel down here and then had actually restarted my own company down here again with multiple partners, with three other partners. And after a year and a half of that, it kind of dismantled. And Craig was starting a roofing company branching out from commercial painting because Sherwin-Williams had a roof coating, Uniflex, and they recruited him and who better to put on this stuff than painters.
Than painters, yeah.
And then painting companies found out that they don't know too much about roofing, heavy construction side of it. So I came in on that side of it with them, and we're very successful in the niche market of fluid applied roof coatings. However, that market kind of disintegrated down here, and the margins for single ply are exceptionally small. And we've been in business since '84. The bread and butter has been commercial painting and some drywall work, and it was an easy transition to hibernate the roofing company and go focus on where the margins are better.
So how long have you been involved? Well, how long were you involved with the inception of this company from the beginning? Or did you come in later okay? I
came in shortly after the roofing company. The painting company's been in business here in Houston since 1984.
Okay.
So this is actually third generation, if you would. Craig is third generation. His father, Larry, and then Larry's father before him. And it's been an evolution.
Right. Did the roofing fade out because the roofs got better and they didn't need it, or was it simply because people didn't want to do it because the margins were low?
Well, the margins are competitive. I mean, for us to go after a single ply TPO market where it's saturated and the margins are low, it wasn't worth competing with our overhead where we sit. So business-wise, financial-wise, it was good to hibernate it. The market kind of fizzled because the products were bought private equity and then sold to major corporations and then kind of worked off sideline there. So we did a lot of Uniflex with Sherwin-Williams, which is still around, which is a fantastic product. We did a lot of Hydrostop, and that was ended up bought by GAF, and GAF has kind of taken it in a different direction that doesn't work with our model. It wasn't a fit anymore.
Very cool. So what kind of painting do you guys focus on now? Is it commercial, residential?
Commercial. We do think of it like we're non-industrial, but we're competitive in the big market. So vertical high rise, hospitals. We do a lot of medical and hospital. We painted Reliant Stadium down here.
Really?
In Houston.
No kidding.
Yeah, so we're big.
Yeah,
that's a big product.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's big time. That's fun stuff.
Yeah, and we actually just finished the William F. Beaumont Hospital in El Paso with a joint venture of Clark McCarthy. That was a huge paint job of it out there lasting 5 years.
Wow.
Jeez.
5 years of painting. What's your role on a day-to-day as the COO?
You know, there's no real definition for that, I guess. I kind of deal with it. I have to take the owner's vision. So Craig Bundren is the owner of the company, and we just rebranded this year, right? So all of our new press and branding is out. We're focused on culture. We're focused more on creating a fantastic product. We're focused on giving value to customers and our employees. Working in my position, it's more of taking Craig's vision and applying operations to it and trying to figure out how to get over all the hurdles and all the problems. And, we try to go over, under, around, or through whatever comes at us. We've made some personnel changes over the last, I'd say 2 years. We've been top grading through and getting the right team members in place. It has paid off. We've got a fantastic executive management team. We've empowered our field supervisors. They're doing very well and thriving. We've developed our training program and our career path for our painters, so we can take a painter in, no experience, in 5 to 7 years, have them running $1 million paint job. We've got vertical growth for painters. The industry ebbs and flows size of the field wise, just like every other construction company, depending on work. But we've been substantially busy consistently. Knock on some wood about we're in a growth pattern.
Yeah. Was that part of Craig's vision in terms of, especially with the field guys that maybe have no experience at the beginning, and then by 7 years they're running a crew? Was that part of his vision, or was that part of maybe a collaboration of the new executive team? Where did that come into play?
So it's part of the vision because it's part of Craig's vision because we have foremen we have painters that have been with us 20 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
especially if you're doing huge projects that take 5 years and stadiums and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we take care of our people, and we want to invest in our people. And we want to develop our people. We want to keep them. We want to make sure that everybody's safe, healthy, happy, and producing. So it's part of his vision. We got involved with the Construction Career Collaborative, and we developed a training program involved with that as we looked at NCCER. And we kind of combined our knowledge with the field, with NCCER and a training program. And it has, while the assessments are continuing to go on, we onboard a new painter, and it's easier to build a painter than go find what you want in the market.
Yeah.
So and when you build the painter and you're investing in the painter, you're investing in that supervisor, you're investing in that finisher, you're creating a brand loyalty to the company as well. Mm-hmm. They say train them so well that they don't want to leave.
Right.
You're actually helping the industry.
Right.
That's awesome. No, I think it's funny, like I said, that you're number 102 and the overwhelming majority, the theme within their employees is that culture and that employee benefits and whatever it is, whether it's money or not. But I mean, just treating them the right way and having that culture. So it sounds like you guys, I mean, relative to 84 when you started, this is a relatively new switch. Was there something that kind of clicked or triggered that rebrand or that push towards that type of, I would imagine, obviously it's not like we don't care about employees and all of a sudden now we do care about them, but there was something, a switch made or, a deliberate deviation made? Was there something that kind of drove that?
The construction industry is lacking skilled tradesmen. We're always
Very much so.
We're always looking for skilled tradesmen. We're always looking to build people, and it's harder to find those people with the knowledge. Over the years, you notice that the people with the knowledge want to share it, but they don't have a structure to do
a platform to do that. Yeah.
Doing it in-house gives us the ability to have that happen, and to pass that information along. I mean, I've had the luck and the pleasure of working with some fantastic craftsmen over my career, and hiring and working alongside of and having mentors. The same thing needs to happen throughout the rest of our industry. While the old way of running jobs, superintendent driving that job and, get it done.
Cracking the whip and
cracking that whip. And it worked up until a point where it really doesn't work anymore.
When the millennials start getting into the job force.
Yeah, I was just going to say, yeah.
Not to label people, but I mean, it's just the way society is now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's true. It's true. Yeah. And I mean, it's funny how some of us older in the industry as well have adapted. You kind of see a divide where there's still some of that old school mentality in there, but our mentality, I've sat in meetings where it got a little bit heated. It's okay to say, listen, man, we're not going to operate like that. I'm not going to talk to you like that, and you're not going to talk to me like that.
Right.
That's okay now. Way back when, that may have caused any issue. We went that route because that's who we are. That's our culture. We want to take care of our people. We want to develop our people, and we were going that route before the rebrand anyway.
Right.
For years we were working on.
Well, you have to just stay competitive and stay relevant and be able to get those people, right? I mean, like you said, I feel like we're at the point right now where, yes, for the past 2 or 3 years, and maybe for the next 2 or 3 years, there are going to be, the companies like you that are moving towards that and making deliberate changes to be like that. And then there's going to be the ones that are resisting it. But I feel like after the next, call it a number of years, 3, 5, 6 years, whatever it is, those ones are going to go by the wayside because it's going to be pretty prevalent in the industry that there are construction and contractors out there treating people the way that these people are. And that's obviously people are going to naturally gravitate towards that. So being that you guys are kind of have the platform of training and bringing somebody in and with no skills at all and developing them and you have that capacity and that platform to do that, where have you found your most success in bringing on new people? Is it like right out of high school? Are there trade shows, or how are you finding people?
We find people really through word of mouth. We've placed ads, you place ads and
right.
for painters, and everybody and their mother applies, including software IT people that are, and that's fine. I mean, if you're willing to commit to the trade and learn, then we'll take anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
The word of mouth is kind of better recruiting wise because you have, you're getting, when one of our foremen says, hey, I've got a guy that has this experience and I can vouch for him. And our foreman's been with us for 20 years and says, yeah, I've worked on and off with them here or there. And,
that's better than any job interview.
Yeah.
That speaks volumes as to we can get them on and then do an initial assessment. The other thing is our industry is really booming with technology. Implementation of technology in almost every phase of construction.
And it's moving fast too, right? Like
So attracting the younger go get it and technology driven people is becoming a need for us because we're playing with tools and we're utilizing equipment that didn't exist 10 years ago.
Right.
And if you're not on that edge of using and researching that equipment and training your people to use it, I watched a video earlier on LinkedIn about Roomba, the parent company Roomba. Out of California, they've basically got a Roomba vacuum running around doing layout on slabs for steel framing, and they guarantee a 1/16 of an inch accuracy, right?
Wow.
So if you think about it, doing layout and getting stuff, that was a laborious process that you had to teach people. Now there's a robot that does it. So it's you've got to get up to speed and keep up to speed and keep training at the pace of technology. Yeah. And I think it's becoming easier to attract some of the younger people that are looking at the cost of, formal education in college and going, wow, $70, $80, $90, $100,000 for a degree. And I can go, spend 2-3 years and make that money. Right.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of making the industry sexy again, right? I mean,
that's a good way of putting it.
You get an 18 to 20-year-old that, he thinks about painting, and 10 years ago it's a paint bucket and a paintbrush, right? And it's like, now you're a painter. But now the painter gets to play with toys and augmented reality and robots and lasers and drones, and you know what I mean? So like that being a piece of this industry now, like I said, kind of makes it a little bit more attractive to hopefully, knock on wood again, the younger crowd, to get those people in, and it's companies like you that are taking it upon themselves to train them, right? Because there's plenty of companies out there, even your size, and obviously the smaller ones just don't have the capacity that are looking for the guy that has the 20 years of experience and can come on and just start running a crew, and that just doesn't exist anymore. So like you said, I mean, not only you guys are doing what you're doing to create that culture inside your company, but you're actually bettering the industry if by chance somebody, does leave.
If you think about some of the old school trades that don't exist anymore, like plastering and cornicing, right? Those guys are artists. I mean, flat out, they're artists, and they are very far and few between. Right. We like to take it as, our guys are not just painters; they're artists. They're the guys adding the color. They're making the impact. It's what you see when you walk in. You don't when you walk into a building or go by a building. You don't see the electrical or the plumbing or exactly. You see color and you see flash and you see finishes, and that is the bold face of what we do. And if you're not considering, if you're considering guys just painters or just vinyl wall cover, right? They're artists. I mean, if you want to train them and treat them like artists, because that's what they are. Right. So if you change that mentality of just a painter to, no, we're artists. We're the ones that put the color, the pop, the shine to everything that you look at. Well, that's a different way of looking at things. Yeah. People, training people and developing.
Well, it creates a different mindset. And like I said, it attracts more people, right? Mm-hmm. Like nobody wants to be just
attracts high quality people. Yeah, for
that's
sure.
The magic right there. Yeah. You end up attracting the higher quality people that want to be a part of something bigger like that.
Yeah. Very cool. So what are some of the challenges? I mean, outside of obviously what you guys are doing from a training and a culture standpoint, what are some of the challenges you guys have to face on a daily basis that from a management team aspect?
There's always workload, backlog, cash flow,
everything.
That's what keeps you up at night,
Yeah.
Wait. So you're saying the construction industry doesn't pay on time?
Well, they do. I mean, if you do it right, they do. We always pay on time.
Right.
We like to work with clients that pay on time. Yeah. Quite frankly, we've walked away from some clients that have that other mentality that it's like, hey, we'll pay you whenever we feel like it. Okay, well,
this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
Exactly. Once again, it doesn't fit our model. Right?
Yeah.
Who we are, what we want to be, and what we're trying to give back to our people as well as our community.
So what's that process look like? Like, is that kind of, we know that we're never going to work with, Joe over here because he never pays on time? Or is it like you go through a due diligence process at the beginning when you're kind of forming that relationship and you're putting the bid together and all that? Where or maybe it's both.
That out,
I mean, some experience and then.
Everybody, you can bid anything to anybody. Right?
Yeah.
You don't have to sign a contract.
Right.
So if you get into that interview process or a scope review or anything else, if this is a new client, let's just say it's a new client that you haven't worked with before. Well, we capitalize on that opportunity to get to know them. We do a little bit of homework. We get to know them, but we also get a chance to ask our questions at that point. They want to see if we've got scope covered. We want to know if they're going to be a good partner to work with.
Yeah. Right. It's a two-way interview. Yeah.
Absolutely. And if you're not utilizing that opportunity to exchange information, exchange ideas, and to feel each other out, you should be able to tell pretty quick if now something feels off about this. We work with all the big boys here in Houston, right? And big girls. So let me be
politically correct. Yeah. Good job. Especially in today's climate.
Yeah. So we have really good relationships with these large general contractors. We also have very good relationships with small and intermediate contractors. We treat every one of them as its own relationship, right?
Right.
What you'll notice, especially in Houston, the fourth largest city in the country.
That was actually on the Weakest Link last night, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a question on the Weakest Link. I was watching last night. Behind New York, LA, and shit, I don't remember
Atlanta?
the third one. Maybe? I don't remember. The guy got it right, though. Anyway, sorry, interrupting your story. Tangents.
No
Moving on.
There's a lot of people out here, and there's a lot of business out here. A couple of years ago, we sat through an economist, one of the AGC or ABC events, and they said if you put a dome over Houston, you'd have to continue building for 6 years just to keep up with birth rate. Forget about anybody else moving into the areas. Just death and birth rate, you'd have to continue building schools, infrastructure, hospitals, everything for 6 years.
Wow.
So
plenty of work.
The city is booming. It's moving. We're talent out there. There's jobs out there. Project managers and teams move from contractor to contractor. So you have the opportunity of building relationships with, let's say, a project manager at company A, who in a year moves to company B and introduces you to a whole new team.
Yeah.
So if you can keep your relationships well, and we like to believe it is our intent that we treat everybody, we're fair, we're kind, we're responsive, and we build those rapports and those relationships with people throughout multiple levels of our clients' organizations. And as they move around, it helps us continue to build more network and more.
Yeah.
We've had project managers that have left one company and gone to another company, and then we get involved with that company, and then they leave and go to a third, and we get involved with that company. Now we've got 3 big GCs that we're working with, all because of one project manager.
Right.
And when you service your clients in that level, every construction company has its problems. You have issues with production. You have issues with scheduling. You have issues with material delivery. You have issues with just trades. I mean, it's just that's our industry.
Right.
If you can rise above those problems and work it out at an elevated level, your clients want to continue to come back to you. So it's good here.
I love that idea though of actually interviewing the client. I feel like too many contractors, especially like
just
the small to mid-sized guys,
and eager to get the cash.
Yeah, they're just they're hungry, which I get, but they take everything that comes their way. Because more often than not, the question that comes back is like, "What's your biggest issue?" And not that we ask that to every podcast guest, but a lot of times we hear chasing the cash, which means that they're not asking those questions from the outset. They're
setting expectations or any of that kind
they're
of
too
stuff.
afraid. Yeah. And so, I mean, if you ask those questions, you get a better idea of who you're dealing with. And I love it.
For us, we have a very good optic on what's going on. So we have our executive team meeting once a week. And so I've got accounting that does our aging reports, our AP and our AR, and then we do a cash flow forecast for 13 weeks, right? And so when we do that cash flow forecast for 13 weeks, we're looking ahead that 13 weeks. On the bottom of that spreadsheet, we have 75, 50, 25, and 0 tabs. So if our revenue dropped to 0 today, I can click on that tab and it'll tell me how long we can live on cash and credit, okay? Our project management and our estimating sides are looking at contract backlog and billing forecast. So we've got a billing forecast that tells us, hey, we're looking out a year and we've got holes here that we can go target that we need to go after with estimating deals, right? So when you get an executive team sitting in a room that's looking at the cash and looking out 13 weeks and looking at revenue and looking at billing forecasts and holes and then looking at backlog creation, size of project, you get that level of communication with those optics there, you can make some really good business decisions.
I was going to say, that's some high level stuff. That's awesome.
And most companies are not, most small business companies have not had the luxury of learning those methodologies that help you out, get to the next step. You can't scale or grow if you don't have the foundation that'll support it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And what kind of labor force are you guys managing? How many people do you guys have out in the field?
We've had as many as 200.
Wow.
And because of workflow, it goes up and down. We're about 70 right now.
What have you seen in the last 9 months with this social experiment that we've been in? How's it been for you guys?
We never shut down, right? So
is that a Texas thing, or is that just a pain? You guys have been just grinding and moving.
Well, we're grinding and moving. It's kind of a Texas thing as well. We're deemed commercial construction is deemed
essential.
Same here. Yeah.
So we never shut down. So we have relationships through different organizations like the PCA, right? Painters Contractors of America. And we know painters all over the country. We know companies all over the country. So we were continuing to work, and we were watching stuff happen and hearing all the chatter. And, there's so much uncertainty with COVID. So first thing was we need to keep our guys safe. We need to address it. And for here in Texas, what the initial run was, every county's judge had a different opinion. So I'm sitting at my desk going, well, we're working in 9 counties.
You got to keep track of 9 different
regulations I got to deal with, right? Somebody needs to get this on a level playing field. So we got our hands, we ordered through some connections, we ordered a pallet of liquid hand sanitizer.
Wow.
We got them in masks out. We had a job going on our job was going on in El Paso. And as everybody was freaking out, we couldn't get masks. My project manager called and said, hey, we ran over the border and we've got a pharmacy shop down here.
I love it.
That has a warehouse full of masks. How many do you want?
The whole warehouse.
Yeah, all of them.
Ship them up here.
Yeah.
So we leveraged every resource we could. And we, general contractors were very focused on this with, okay, we need to protect the jobs, and protect the people. We were very focused on protecting our people and not putting them in a bad environment.
Yeah.
Initially, we had a couple cases in the field, but it was shut down. We had one job that shut down for 72 hours. We had a second job that shut down for 17 days. But those were the only 2 major impacts. In the construction industry has taken it upon itself to say, we can't stop what we're doing. I mean, you can't just stop in the middle of
you have to adjust. Yeah, but you can't stop. Yep.
So let's figure out how to get around it. So implementing CDC guidelines, moving more of the stairs, shifting people to now you don't have 20 people on a job. You've got, 6 and 6 and you're 7 and you're shifting it with overlaps and you're not 4 people in an elevator because everybody's in a corner. The construction industry acted fast to get around this. And I think that we did very, very well here. In the same sense, we grabbed a couple estimators from some painting companies on the West Coast in California and Washington because they were shut down. California shut it down and Washington shut it down. And through our network, we were able to say, hey, we're still bidding. So we can bring them in as remote, 1099s and at least keep you guys, help spread this out and keep you guys going. So we were able to do that. It helped us. It helped them. We have come out of this thing. Cases are spiking again all over the country. And from a business perspective, it's hard to make a decision on some of this stuff because the information is all over the board.
Right.
You don't turn on one channel, you see one thing. You turn on another channel, you see the polar opposite, and you're like, how do I just keep my guys safe?
Right.
Keep my family safe? How do I keep my employees safe? How do we stay making it so that everybody's getting a paycheck, right? And that's been the mantra through the whole thing. We're going to get through it. We're going to move. Office-wise, my staff, my office is 12 of us. We were a lot more prepared for this than I thought we were going to be. We suffered 2 floods here in Houston, and the first one was a awakening. The second one we were much better set up for, but we had developed our business continuity plan, and we literally rolled right into it with remote work and didn't skip a beat office wise.
That's awesome.
Very proud of my team. Very, very, very proud of my team for.
And are you guys still pretty remote, or have some people come back, or?
We're back at the office.
You're back at the office?
We all have, we're, if you could see, we're in a ranch here on 5 acres. Every one of us has our own office. So we're not.
Oh, that sounds glorious. Yeah, when do I move? Yeah. When can I move?
We're in a concrete jungle over here.
That's pretty awesome. Very cool. So what are some of the most fun jobs you guys have done? Because like you said, I mean, you guys are that finishing touch, right? That everybody gets to see. So I'm sure it's easy to drive by and point out work. And what's the most fun stuff you guys have done?
So downtown Houston, a couple of years ago, we had Final Four, and then we had the Super Bowl, right? Yeah. So in Main and McKinney downtown, major intersection, we did an art blocks installation on the roadways and sidewalks, joined with so it was an artist design that we installed. And when we first found out about the project, we were like, this is great. It's right up our alley. It's off the wall. It's kind of specialty, everything. And then they said, we want it removed in 6 weeks. Whoa, hold on a second. You're asking us to put a vehicular rated coating on a roadway and then remove it after the Super Bowl? I don't know if they make products for that, right? So we had to go out and do our homework and work with our suppliers. We ended up getting it done, and it's called Art Blocks. So you could take a look at it online. Art Blocks Houston, and we did the roadway installation. They did vinyl graphics on buildings, and they did a big cornucopia installation around the corner, and it was a fantastic project to be involved with because the number one, the press was crazy.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
You're in the middle of one of the busiest intersections in Houston, downtown Houston, with a train rail going through the middle of it. Trying to do layout and get these fluorescent colors painted on a road overnight, because you had to work on it overnight, and traffic control. It was crazy, but when it was all done, it was awesome. We do a lot of hospitals, so hospitals are a big one for us. Yep. There are a lot of fun. They're, people think about it. You don't realize how much stuff is in a wall in a hospital.
My uncle builds them down in Florida. I know. He's told me the stories. It's crazy.
Yeah, and every one of them is a challenge in its own environment. So we like doing them. The big thing is, we get to drive around the city and actually the country. We've worked all over the place and say, we're the reason why that building is red, or we're the reason why that building is this. And we enjoy those projects. We like the rough ones. We like the intricate ones, the ones that really make you think, and it's a difficult install. We also pride ourselves on access. We like to think that we utilize all of our resources and we can access almost anything to get you what you need. So.
Very cool, man. That's fun.
Yeah, that's really cool.
What's the future look like for you guys? Where are you headed? I mean, obviously you said growth is just happening, but
growth is happening, but it's strategic.
Yeah.
I mean, we're focused on multiple business sections. We have the new construction section that is continuously going and growing. And then we have a repaint, remodel, and business development section as well. So we've kind of diversified out. Part of each of them are in bond work. So, if you have a really tough recession, we're already there doing bond work and civil work, so that you're not having to get into the market and compete.
Yeah.
So
the private money.
Kind of diversified our workload around.
Smart. Very smart.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, we appreciate the time. We'll let you run and hang out on the ranch, and I'll be dreaming about being on that ranch, because that's where my life goal is. But so again, thanks for taking the time with us, Mike. We appreciate it. It's been awesome. Before we let you go, want to give you an opportunity to let the people know where to find you. I don't know if you're on any kind of social medias at all, or your websites or phone numbers, emails, however they can get a hold of you.
Absolutely. So obviously it's Bundren.com. We have, Craig has a podcast as well called the Chromatic Podcast.
Oh, awesome.
And he's doing business leaders, artists, and he's making an impact. We're changing the way people do business. Some of our mentors have been involved with it. We have the Bundren Building Arts Foundation as well, where we are connecting artists with opportunities in the city. It's a nonprofit. We're getting our clients involved. We're getting the city involved. We're connecting artists with opportunities to do murals on buildings and bridges and internals of the buildings. You find us on LinkedIn, obviously. We have Instagram and Facebook and everything. You just look up Bundren.com and you can get all of our links there.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll make sure we link all that stuff in our description as well. It's very cool. Yep. We appreciate the time, Mike. Thanks so much. Stay safe out there and keep in touch.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
Thank you very much, John.
Appreciate it, sir. Have a good one.
You too.
Hey, thanks for listening. And if you've made it this far, go ahead and give us a like or 5 stars or whatever means you like us.
Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next episode. And check out our website for more video content and extras.
While you're there, shoot us a message if you want to be a guest. We'd love to have you on.
Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.